Well, there are probably a million things that people thought might happen in the MAC last week, and not one of them was Eastern Michigan winning the conference tournament and claiming the NCAA bid. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And we're going to join Kimi Olson, the fourth-year coach. Kimi, I think I have this right. Go down the home stretch of the regular season, you guys had lost. You were 4-6 until you won your last regular season game going into the tournament, and then you had the task of winning 4 tournament matches in a row. That was some steep odds, I would think, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was definitely some serious steep odds. We were pretty solidly going into the tournament this year, which is different than previous years. It usually went down to the final weekend. So once we found out that we were in, we had a 5th seed. Honestly, we were the only people that thought it was possible.
I have it, in order, right? You beat Kent State, Buffalo, then the number 1 seed Bowling Green, and then Miami, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I will tell you, I watched that match, and there's so many things about your team. I mean, you obviously played with a tremendous amount of enthusiasm and played really good volleyball. I mean, let's start there.
Yeah, I mean, by the time we got to Miami, we had already beaten like 3 very different teams. We played Kent State, who played great defense. Buffalo, who is a very high side-out team that just has huge, great athletes and bangers. Bowling Green, who will just frustrate you and dig you forever and ever and ever. And by the time we get to Miami, it's like we had to do everything. We had to be highly efficient. We had to dig more balls than they did, and we just had to believe that we could be in that final match.
I think I probably speak for most of the volleyball world watching. They don't know a lot about your team. I mean, I know. And, I'm getting the piece of paper here, so I don't get the names right. I mean, like junior middle, Cassie Haught, really a nice player. The senior libero, Alyssa LaFace. Senior outside, Jordan Smith. But you're a team with 6 freshmen and a redshirt freshman. And then your setter, and you make sure I get the name right. Is it Mallory Rajeski? Is that the way to say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she does a nice job running the show. But a real interesting mix of people. If you talk a little bit for everybody about like what you think are the strengths and how you got to where you are with this group.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we don't run a particular offense or even defense, I'd say every single night because I want to. We took the best players on our team and put them in positions to be successful. If you watch the whole tournament, we ebbed and flowed between the 5-1 and the 6-2. We've run the 6-2 the majority of the year because we've got really solid right sides. We love to be able to get to the ball to anybody. One of the things I'm pretty passionate about is just having a solid spread offensively. Sometimes I think we were a little bit too nice giving the ball to the younger players and not feeding Cassie and Jordan. But it gave those guys some really great experience offensively. So going into that, we were the statistical leader in kills. We were 1st or 2nd in hitting percentage. So from an offensive standpoint, I thought we were definitely ready to go. And then defensively, we outdug everybody in the entire tournament. We put Alyssa in places where she needed to be. And I got to give a shout out to the team because we don't run just one defense. We change, per rotation or what setter is setting or what hitter is hitting. And I got to give a lot of credit to my team who's just really intelligent and was able to make some game time changes.
Just as an aside, in the MAC, it's unbelievable how many good liberos there are in that league. And people, if you don't watch the MAC, I'm telling you, the last couple of years, it's been like libero conference. I'm not wrong, am I?
No, they have 2-time player of the year is from Bowling Green, who leads the country in digs per set. I think we've got 3 of the top 5 or something in the nation in digs per set. So incredible defenses going down in the MAC.
Yeah, that's Callie Sumet from Bowling Green, not a bad player. Well, Kimi Olson wasn't a bad player. She played on a national championship team at USC. And I teased her beforehand that her resume includes having played for Mick Haley. And then your first job was as an assistant coach at Albany to MJ Engstrom, who's one of my favorite people. But while they're on totally opposite sides of the spectrum as coaches and people, the one thing that Mick and MJ have in common is you know exactly where you stand and they tell it as it is. And I assume you apply some of that to your own coaching.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say I've taken some from every single coach I've had, Mick being one of them. I wanted to play for Mick. He was coming off the Olympics, just an unbelievable coach that I knew was going to win a championship. So, and then when it comes to MJ, what I learned the most from MJ is just how to think outside of the box. So I'd always had some great training growing up with the Shondells. A lot of the people that trained us went into the college game and had a ton of success, and just tried to kind of take a snippet from each one of those guys and kind of put it into what we do here at Eastern now that I got a chance to take the reins.
Well, from Newcastle, Indiana to USC to Albany, to Charleston as an assistant, and for 4 years the head coach at Eastern Michigan. Now you got to sit back and you have to wait pretty long to find out where you're going. I mean, you must be excited. And do you try to give that any thought, or you just get back into practice and prepare?
Yeah, we spent about 5 minutes trying to guess where we're going to go, taking a look at the top 16 teams and what those guys have left. You know, some people would love to stay here and play Michigan in Ann Arbor. Some of us would love to travel to California. A bus trip is always easy. Honestly, we're ready for anything. We are stoked to be there and to represent the MAC. I think this team believes that they can do some damage.
You know, I want to leave you with this. When your match was over and the teams finished shaking hands, and you were obviously very excited, but you made a point of going over to Miami coach Carolyn Condit. You guys had a long embrace. You obviously have great respect for her. I mean, she's in her 35th year. But what did she tell you at that point about going forward this week?
You know, she just told us how we earned it and how we put together 4 incredible days offensively, defensively, just from a physical standpoint, and just wished us all the luck representing the MAC, and that she's just really proud of where we've taken the program and how just to have fun and love the moment.
Well, I love the MAC. I've really enjoyed talking to you. We hope you guys have a blast in the NCAA tournament. And thanks for taking the time.
Thank you very much.